Debt has become a common occurrence, similar to waking up and brushing your teeth every morning. However, just because it's normal doesn't mean it's beneficial. Debt causes numerous problems, and we despise it for that reason. Debt robs you of your present and future by keeping you in a never-ending cycle that hinders your ability to build wealth. It can also weigh you down so much that you feel trapped with no way out. Despite the negative impact of debt, individuals still make excuses for staying in debt instead of taking the necessary steps to become debt-free. Unfortunately, these excuses are baseless. Do not be deceived by any of the 12 myths that keep people in debt. Myth number 1. Debt is a normal or beneficial part of life. It's a common belief that being in debt is a natural and acceptable way of life. However, the truth is that 77% of Americans have some form of debt, which is not a positive sign. Additionally, the notion that having good credit scores, good debts, or tax benefits are beneficial is entirely false. The reality is that there is nothing positive about being in debt, and it is not easy to manage. Research indicates that since June 2022, 1 in 5 Americans has fallen deeper into debt, which is a concerning statistic. Living in debt prevents individuals from achieving the American dream, so why not start living your dreams sooner? The good news is that it is possible to achieve a debt-free life by making the decision to be different. If being in debt is deemed normal, then make the choice to be unique. Myth number 2. I have ample time to prepare for my financial future. It's a common misconception to believe that there is sufficient time to plan for the future. However, putting off financial responsibility and securing one's future can be detrimental, especially when in debt. Paying for past expenses can prevent one from building a secure future or even enjoying the present. Stop procrastinating and take action today. Begin by establishing a starter emergency fund of $1,000. Then use the debt snowball method to eliminate debt for good. Once debt-free, you'll have complete control over your income and can focus on building financial security and wealth by creating a full emergency fund, investing, and paying off your mortgage. Don't be deceived by the notion that you have plenty of time to plan for your financial future. Start planning now. Myth number 3. You can't live debt-free because you don't make enough money. Irrespective of your income level, paying off debt is achievable, even if it takes a longer time. Although earning more can hasten the debt repayment process, increasing your income is possible, even now. In today's world, numerous options are available for earning extra income. For instance, you can work a side job driving for Uber or Lyft or delivering food for Grubhub or DoorDash. If you don't have additional time, consider selling unused items such as an extra television on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or unwanted clothes on Poshmark or 3UP. Not only will you make some money, but you'll also declutter your space. Alternatively, you could request a raise or seek a better-paying job by updating your resume. Don't allow a lack of funds to prevent you from becoming debt-free. Myth number 4. Sacrifices aren't worth it. Many people believe that getting out of debt is not worth the sacrifices required. It's true that cutting back on expenses can be tough, especially when it means giving up things like dining out and vacations. However, these sacrifices are short-term, and the benefits of being debt-free are long-lasting. Ask yourself, what am I willing to give up now so that I can be debt-free in the future? Try a no-spend month where you only buy essential items. Give up your daily coffee from the coffee shop and make your own at home. Bring your own lunch to work to save money. Skip an expensive vacation and plan a budget-friendly staycation or postpone all vacations until you are debt-free. Sell your expensive car that comes with a monthly payment and buy a used car with cash. Yes, these changes are challenging, but they are only temporary. Once you are debt-free, you can start enjoying your favorite luxuries again. The difference is you will be able to afford them without the burden of debt. Myth number 5. Having a budget limits your freedom. One common misconception about budgeting is that it restricts your freedom. However, many people who are in debt don't even know how much they owe because they haven't been keeping track of their spending. By creating a budget, you are actually taking control of your money and making a plan for every dollar you earn. This means you'll be able to prioritize your spending and cut out unnecessary expenses, ultimately leading to financial freedom. Creating a budget doesn't have to be difficult, but it does require some effort. Start by tracking your expenses and setting goals for how you want to allocate your money. Stick to your budget and watch as you gain more control over your finances and achieve your financial goals. Remember, having a budget isn't limiting your freedom. It's giving you the freedom to make informed financial decisions and reach your dreams. Myth number 6. You need to keep up appearances. Don't fall for the trap of comparing yourself to others and feeling like you need to keep up with their lifestyle. It's easy to get caught up in the game of keeping up with the Joneses, but it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. Just because your neighbor has a new kitchen or your friend has a flashy car doesn't mean that you need to follow suit. In fact, trying to keep up with others' spending habits can lead you down the path of debt and financial insecurity. Instead, focus on your own financial goals and priorities. Create a budget that works for you and stick to it, regardless of what others are doing. Don't let the pressure to maintain a certain lifestyle keep you from achieving long-term financial stability. Myth number 7. I want it, and I want it now. Many people in debt are drawn to material possessions, but the truth is that buying things with debt only creates more financial burdens. The message our culture sends is that we can have what we want now and pay for it later through credit cards or buy now, pay later schemes. However, this mindset is a lie that leads to debt and regret. In reality, buying things on credit ends up costing more in monthly payments and interest charges. So it's better to only buy things you can afford to pay for in cash and avoid the traps of debt. Myth number 8. Not using debt is a scary lifestyle change. Using debt may seem like a comfortable lifestyle, but in reality, it's like slowly boiling a pot of water. Initially, it feels warm and cozy, but eventually, you'll be boiled alive. However, the idea of not using debt may seem daunting. If you've always relied on credit cards and car payments, it may be hard to imagine how you'll manage without them. But the truth is, buying things without debt is just as simple. A debit card works the same way as a credit card, and cash is still widely accepted. In fact, some prefer cash to avoid transaction fees. Remember, someone has to pay for those credit card rewards. Myth number 9. Debt isn't a big deal. Some people believe that as long as they make the minimum monthly payments, their debt isn't a big deal. However, this is far from the truth. Debt is still a big deal and can be quite costly due to hidden fees and interest charges on credit cards, growing student loan balances, and depreciating leased cars. In addition to the money wasted on interest payments, think about the potential money lost. For instance, a new car loan's average monthly payment in 2022 was approximately $700, which could have been invested in a growth stock mutual fund. By the time you retire, you could have around $4.3 million waiting for you. Myth number 10. You don't need your spouse to be on the same page. Money in relationships can be a delicate balance, especially when both partners don't see eye to eye. If one of you is committed to becoming debt-free while the other isn't convinced that debt is all that bad, it can create friction. However, when it comes to money, it's crucial that you and your spouse are on the same page. You must agree on financial goals and work together to achieve them. It's no longer my money or their money once you get married. It's our money. As a team, you have to communicate and work together to achieve your financial goals. This applies to your debt as well. It's not just your individual debts, but it's a joint responsibility that you must tackle together. Myth number 11. You need a credit card for emergencies. There is a common myth that you need a credit card to handle emergencies. However, if you keep using that credit card for unexpected expenses, you may soon find yourself back in debt. Even minor expenses like groceries or Christmas presents can turn into emergencies when you rely on your credit card. Instead of depending on a credit card, create an emergency fund. Save up a significant amount of money that can serve as your safety net when unexpected expenses arise. Don't let a credit card's high interest rates add more stress to an already stressful situation. Currently, the average interest rate for credit cards is at an all-time high of 20.4%, so it's not worth it to use a credit card for emergencies. Myth number 12. Getting out of debt just isn't possible. Don't believe the lie that getting out of debt is impossible. While it does require hard work and discipline, it's entirely achievable. People call me every day to share their debt-free success stories, often after paying off six-figure amounts of debt. With a solid plan, you can achieve the same results. The debt snowball method is an effective strategy for getting out of debt. Here's how it works. Make a list of all your debts, starting with the smallest balance and ending with the largest. Ignore the interest rate for now. Continue making minimum payments on all debts, but direct any extra income or savings towards paying off the smallest debt first. Once you paid off the smallest debt, take the amount you were paying towards it and add it to the minimum payment of the next smallest debt on your list. Keep repeating this process until all your debts are paid off. By following the debt snowball method, you'll see progress quickly, which can motivate you to keep going until you're debt-free. So paying off a significant amount of debt can be challenging, but don't believe the lies that keep you trapped in it. Remember that millions of people who were once in the same position as you are now living and giving freely because they changed their mindset. It's your turn to do the same and shed the burden of debt to create the life you've always wanted. It's not only possible, but also worth it. Let's confront these deceitful myths and acknowledge them for what they are, falsehoods. It's time to start learning and living the truth about money. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more helpful content like this on personal finance and debt management. We appreciate your support and look forward to hearing from you in the comments.